We're back with another Patreon-sponsored episode this week. This one comes courtesy of supporter Third Sergio, who wanted a cursory evaluation of one of the most indubitably exceptional intellects on Cybertron. It's the basics on Autobot scientist PERCEPTOR. The original PERCEPTOR toy was first released in black and grey as part of the Japanese toy line Microchange in 1984. Then imported by Hasbro to become part of the second year of the Transformers franchise in 1985. Hasbro changed the figure's colours to red and blue, but they went through a few revisions. The artwork and photos on the toy's packaging famously show an early colour scheme that was changed for the finished release. The toy transformed into a crude but working microscope, able to magnify objects 14 times. And a mobile artillery emplacement that could be ridden by figures from Microchange's parent toy line, Micro Man. The Transformers release of the figure rebranded this mode a mobile laboratory in its instructions, but the profile written for PERCEPTOR by Marvel Comics writer Bob Budiansky kept its original Microchange function. Budiansky characterized PERCEPTOR as an incredibly intelligent but absent-minded scientist with a thirst for knowledge, whose primary objective was to find new ways for the Autobots to adapt to life on Earth. PERCEPTOR joined the cast of the original Transformers animated series midway through its second season, though no explanation was provided for where he had come from. Whereas established Autobot scientist Wheeljack was more of a gadget man, PERCEPTOR was a true Renaissance spot, a master of multiple sciences, mechanical, chemical, cosmological, and more, who enjoyed a prominent, recurring role throughout the season, saving the day with his scientific skills more than once. Standout adventures included shrinking himself, Bumblebee, and Brawn to embark on a fantastic voyage inside Megatron's body, and battling the deadly disease, Cosmic Rust. His toys' continued availability in 1986 led to a supporting role in the Transformers the Movie, which featured a running gag about his excessive verbosity that became one of the character's best-known hallmarks among fans.
Ultra Magnus, a cursory evaluation of Decepticon capability indicates a distinct tactical deficiency.
Despite the fact that the trait was entirely confined to the film. He also remained a regular in the cartoon's subsequent third season, even starring in another Spotlight episode that saw his mind transferred into a small geisha robot named Nijika. In the Marvel comic book, on the other hand, PERCEPTOR didn't have much time to spend on science, thanks to his role as the pragmatic leader of an underground Autobot resistance cell on Cybertron. After journeying to Earth via the Decepticons' space bridge, PERCEPTOR assumed a position of authority in the Autobots' Earth ranks, heading the council who chose the next Autobot leader after Optimus Prime's death. However, his scientific expertise would eventually come to the fore in some of the comic's later sequel series, like Generation 2 in the 1990s, and Regeneration 1 in the 2010s. PERCEPTOR was phased out of the cartoon and comic after his toy was discontinued in 1987, and he didn't receive any further toys in the Generation 1 toy line, though a non-transforming Action Master figure of him was designed at some point. But despite no longer being on toy store shelves, he still put in one last guest appearance in 1989's Japanese exclusive animated series Transformers Victory, working alongside Wheeljack and Minerva to rebuild the wounded Autobot god Jinrai into Victory Leo. The first new incarnation of PERCEPTOR would not be introduced until 2002's Transformers Armada. But like many characters from this series who reused the names of older ones, Armada PERCEPTOR had nothing to do with the original. At least outwardly. There was a slight connection. The Armada PERCEPTOR toy was designed by Hideaki Yoke, who also designed the original Generation 1 PERCEPTOR toy and considered the character his favourite. Thus, Hasbro's Aaron Archer chose to name the Armada character PERCEPTOR in Yoke's honour. Armada PERCEPTOR was the combined form of the Street Action Minicon team, Highwire, Grindor, and SureShock, the Minicon partners of the Autobots' human allies Rad, Carlos, and Alexis, and he served as a leader and representative for the Minicons during the Armada series. A new toy of the character was released during the 2004 sequel series Transformers Energon, and recolored for the third installment of the trilogy Transformers Cybertron, and he made a few token appearances in the Energon cartoon and Cybertron comic book. Now, compared to Armada, the drastic reinvention IDW Publishing subjected Perceptor to in their comic books in 2008 seemed positively mild. Though he started out as the intellectual audiences knew from Generation 1, when IDW's Perceptor almost lost his life in a Decepticon attack, he reacted by upgrading his armor and weapon systems and reinventing his personality, going from a personable scientist to a cold and aloof sniper. His deadly new skills earned him membership in the Autobot commando unit, the Wreckers, but he couldn't deny his true nature forever. After the end of the war, he soon found himself back in the lab, putting his scientific talents to work aboard the starship Lost Light, and also enduring the wild antics of his new lab partner, Brainstorm. Perceptor's next appearance on television, in Transformers Animated in 2009, would stick to his classic roots. The head of the Autobots Science Guild, who worked on such projects as the creation of Omega Supreme, Animated Perceptor had purportedly deleted much of his personality data to make room for more scientific knowledge. Consequently, his voice was provided by an electronic text-to-speech program, rather than an actual actor, in an homage to fellow genius Stephen Hawking.
We are contacting you because the Council has decided to break the news of the attack on Ultra Magnus 2 all of Cybertron.
Rather than a microscope, he turned into an off-road truck with a mobile laboratory configuration. Unfortunately, he didn't get a toy. It wasn't until 2011 that the first brand new Perceptor toy based on the original character was released, as part of the Reveal the Shield series. Like Animated Perceptor, it also turned into an off-road vehicle. It seems Hasbro didn't feel like a microscope would make for an exciting toy in the 21st century. And perhaps that's why we didn't see any major new takes on Perceptor for the next few years, outside of an appearance in the Fall of Cybertron video game and a few other pieces of associated media. But come 2017, they'd obviously changed their tune when a new Perceptor toy with a working microscope mode was released as part of the Titans Return toy line. Based on his design from IDW's comic books, this figure could also assume the classic toy's mobile lab/artillery platform mode, and its head was formed by the Titan Master Convex, who granted Perceptor the power to shrink to microscopic size. Perceptor's presence in the Titans Return toy line netted him a role in Machinima's Titans Return cartoon, in which he was voiced by King of the Nerds Will Wheaton. Perceptor played a key role in the series, charged by Optimus Prime with safeguarding the Matrix of leadership when the Decepticon Titan Trypticon attacked, only for Perceptor to wind up using the Matrix's power to defeat the giant villain. Perceptor continued to remain a major player in the sequel series Power of the Primes, in which he joined with Megatron, Windblade, and a group of others in a race against the evil Prime Megatronus to hunt down other lost ancient Cybertronian artifacts. Perceptor's intelligence was key to their success, as he acquired data, deciphered maps, and solved puzzles that led the team to their objectives. And these are just some of Perceptor's biggest roles, but he's enjoyed prominence in Transformers stories big and small, frequently treated as the go-to character that a writer will use when they need a scientist. Beloved as a fellow nerd, Perceptor's always been a cult favorite among fans, having been enshrined in the memories of many 80s kids thanks to his supporting turn in the Transformers the movie, the ubiquitousness of which has led to its joke about Perceptor's extensive vocabulary being often repeated in modern media. Measured against his legacy, many of Perceptor's fellow second-year Autobots suffer from a distinct tactical deficiency. And those are the basics on Perceptor. Thanks once again to Third Sergio for sponsoring this episode. Tell me about your favorite version of old Percy down in the comments. As always, please like, please share, and please subscribe for more from the world of the Transformers.